At the Ron and John Show, we're known coast to coast like butter and toast. We can make ISIS surrender or die, or make even the nerdiest guy look kind of fly. We can drink like we've been singing all night long, and we can sing like we've been drinking all night long. So if you're looking for a good time, don't you delay. Tune into the Ron and John Show. Me and this Ranger, we lead the way. Boom! We're back!
Boom! Back.
2021, brother.
Welcome back, brother. New season, new episodes, same energy. And looking forward to I'm super stoked. This is our first show of the season 2 now.
Yeah.
Good to see you. Obviously we've seen each other since then, but man, it's just good to have the show on again.
Hey, so we got to give it out to our sponsor, Veterans Lending Group. You know, they
100%.
You know, we got a second season, man. So
we made it. We made it for round 2.
We got the Ron and John Show shirts going. So
that's right. We got our own swag.
We're all kitted up. We're ready to get after it. No, everything's good, man. I'm excited about this season. You know, we're going to put some energy in it. Our shows are going to be monthly now, so we can really focus on providing dynamic shows and really give the audience what they're looking for, man.
No, absolutely. And you know, as well as being able to share in our travels, you know, I mean, going into 2021, you know, we're already set for a couple of spots already.
Absolutely.
And
hey, we got Vegas coming up, man. Not that we're going to Vegas. We're going to Nellis Air Force Base. And, dude, we're going to christen a new U.S. Army Recruiting Command recruiting station, man. Is that awesome?
That is awesome. I'm just as you probably curious as what the heck that looks like.
Well, so hey, that's why I pulled out, you know,
there it is,
my Singaporean war axe here, you know, so that if I have to christen a recruiting station with this, we can do it, man.
We can do it. You know what?
Yeah.
We'll have to bring the Hawk too. We'll just, you know, make sure we check the luggage because they don't like e-tools and they don't like big heavy weapons like that. Trust me.
Hey, and you know, we've already. You know, we hit Hurlburt Field. You know, we did some great stuff down there with Air Force Special Operations Command and some of the units down there. And, you know, just already we're getting after it, man, and going out and sending the message. And, you know, I'm so excited about tonight's show, Ron, because we got 4 fabulous, dynamic gentlemen on here tonight.
We do. And, you know, we wanted to kick this season off with some great motivation, great topics, and great guests and folks that we know, right?
Absolutely. You know,
we've had on here.
They're friends of the Ron and John Show. You know, they have their own platforms as well. You know, obviously NCOPD Live. You know, freestyle every day for everybody. You know, Breck Live, and we can't forget about let's talk about it. You know, but the bottom line, these 4 guys. You know, as I still consider myself a pretty good judge of talent. When I look at these 4 guys, you know, there's a phrase we use in the military called "they get it." You know, they understand how to use their platform. They understand how to inspire people, and they understand how to bring up big issues and have conversations that don't end up in pissing, you know, contests or arguments or anything. They're just that professional and that dynamic.
No, they are, and you know, when you look at their following, you look at the all of their episodes, as well as their fantastic teams that support them, because you know these communities essentially is what they've created. They curate them, they take care of them, and in turn they take care of each other as we see. So it's just fantastic to have all of them here. I'm sure they're sharing it on their platforms as well, and get to see, you know, just other people, other faces, and interact. You know, it's all about collaboration over competition, and it's what I love about who we have on today.
Absolutely. So, what do you think, brother? Let's bring them out, man.
Let's bring them out. Bring them out. Bring them out.
Here they come.
There they come. There we go.
Horsemen themselves, man. Look at them. You know. Hey, so we've got Command Sergeant
Someone's ready.
Hurricane Halliburton. Look at him all fired up.
Look at fired up.
We got Command Sergeant Major James Breck live, Breckenridge. Breck, thanks for being here. We got Master Sergeant Richard Oz Green. Let's talk about it. And last but surely not least, the hashtag TPSGL, the professional SGL from NCOPD Live's Staff Sergeant D. Hicks. Gentlemen,
in the house.
welcome to the Ron and John Show.
Welcome, everyone.
Here we go. Oh.
Hey, so we're not going to have any singing contest tonight, all right?
Oh, that's right.
I will, I'm going to ask Oz, I'm going to ask you later on for a recap of that, so the folks that missed it can hear about it. And Breck, I'll ask for your opinion on that too, man. But we're just happy to have all four of you gentlemen here, and to kick off our show. We're going to talk about some stuff today and get your opinion on some things, and we're going to find out what your focus is for your platforms for this year and the future. Ron.
Yeah, y'all. It's a pleasure to have you all on here. Obviously, D. Hicks. We just were on there last night. Had a fantastic show as well. But yeah, like we were talking about before, we know your energy. We know what you bring to the table. We know that the topics of the conversations are always interesting, always on point, and always real. So we're looking to get into that today.
Awesome. All right, we're going to start with D. Hicks, man. What's going on, brother? Tell us about how things are going. I know you just made a move, and you're down in Beaumont, Texas now. Tell us how the move went. Tell us how the weather's treating you, man.
I started to call the hurricane today and tell him he can do something with the National Weather Center. And I left Virginia, and I left the snow and everything in Virginia. When I saw that it snowed in Beaumont, I was like, wait a minute. Like, I thought I left all that behind. So, but no, man, we had a great move. Still getting situated at the unit, still in observation mode, trying to get the feel of everything. So, but other than that, man, everything's great. Pretty much set up here in the house, starting to feel like home. So, man, super excited. Great move, though.
Awesome.
Nice. Yeah.
What's
nice? Now you said you had one light on because they had electricity. There's something about there.
Yeah. So like right before we went live, I got a call from my energy company. It's like, hey, if you don't conserve your energy, we're gonna turn off the grid. I'm like, what? So they're like, you only need to have one light on, and like everything else needs to be off in your house. I'm like, that is crazy. Like, I thought maybe the energy would, the lights would go off, power would go off because, I don't know, lines froze or somebody hit a pole and knocked the pole down, but you're going to actually turn it off? So what if my neighbors in my building are running their lights? You're going to turn off the whole building 5 because highway robbery, man. It's a scam.
All right, so let's go to Oz. What you been up to, brother?
Nothing much, Sergeant Rich. Just down here at the self-proclaimed center of the universe, doing some stuff. I ain't gonna call it airborne stuff, but doing some stuff. Life is great. Just got a new pup in, new Cane Corso, unsigned height, Thanos. We getting him trained up for some dog shows and stuff, and just taking it one day at a time, enjoying this experience we call the Army, and being able to teach some young leaders some new things that they ain't seen in a different way. But I'm having a good time.
Yeah, I see them cross pistols on the back on that plaque behind you there, man. Dang MPs, man.
I was just going to say, like, I'm the only one on here that ain't an MP, and I'm wearing. They should be paying me much as I wear their merch.
Let's say the only one.
Yeah. Well, hey, thanks, Oz, for being here. Ron, go ahead, brother.
Yeah. No, you're good. You're good. Thanks for coming on board, Oz. I've had the pleasure of watching you in the mornings. Putting out that motivation and stuff. Look forward to seeing that energy here and learning more about you. So I'm a big fan.
Thanks, Alfred.
Yeah. All right, Breck.
Wow, thanks so much. Well, first off, to Ron, John, Victoria in the background, she's making all this happen. She's the Oz of the Ron and John show. Thanks for having us on. I mean, really just when I saw this pop up, I said, wow, what a way to kick off season 2 for the Ron and John show, to have the entrepreneurs that kind of started that kind of got this thing rocking and rolling about a year ago, you know. So it's really great to reconnect with everybody and to be on this platform with you all. So just real quick recap. It's been a busy year since I've been on the Ron and John show. I know a lot of the followers on here probably know, but for those that don't know, the Breckenridge family made the move from the beautiful Ozarks of Fort Leonard Wood to the busy life of the DC area, to the National Capital Region, to the Fort Belvoir, Quantico area. We definitely miss Fort Leonard Wood and all the amazing people in the Ozarks, and to anybody that's still watching or that is watching that is still in the area, the Breckenridge family, we miss you terribly. But we're doing great up here. Empty nesters for our first empty nester PCS, which was a little bit different. We didn't have our daughter to order around to set the house up, so we had to do it ourselves. But everything is great here. Getting settled into the new job, really enjoying learning about all the things that happen at the Criminal Investigation Command and the Army Corrections Command. For me personally, for all those out there know how much I push college education. Excuse me. Got back into college, getting after it, taking 2 classes right now, balancing work, getting 2 classes in, plus taking care of a family. It's been great, but it's been very rewarding. But I do want to give a quick shout out to Command Sergeant Major retired Kevin Nolan, who's a military advisor out at Purdue University Global. That guy stayed on my ass. Wait, can I say ass on here? I just
say whatever you want.
Okay.
No holds barred.
Okay.
No
right.
filters, man.
I've already said it twice, so if I can, I'm already screwed anyway. But
yeah,
he held my ass under fire, or kept my ass under fire for 2 years to get back into college because, with jobs and everything, just kept putting it off and keeping too busy. Really, at the end of the day, I said, you know what, I'm going to get after it. So thanks, Kevin. I really mean this a lot. You really put a fire in my butt to get me going, and thank you so much for that. But other than that, just having a great time, enjoying life, really proud to surround myself with each one of you on this Hollywood Squares, right? The mentorship, the leadership, the camaraderie, the friendship, it's what drives me and keeps me going to serve our soldiers every day. And that's what it is, a blessing every day to serve our soldiers. So Ron, John, thank you so much for having me on the show again. And I look forward to a great conversation tonight.
Yeah, awesome, man. And what's fantastic about this is that, everyone on the panel today is in a different, stage in their career, but the topics that we discuss, will continue. I mean, what we're doing is going to continue. Leading by example. You got the SEAC here that's still continuing to give back. This is going to continue. So therefore, I'm just saying this because Breck, you get me fired up, man, because y'all are now becoming, force multipliers out there, in creating these communities, showing and sharing these communities that in a rising tide lifts all ships. So we can really get after, post-military success for the veteran community. So, man, I appreciate you all. Appreciate you, man. Thank you.
and last but not least, Command Sergeant Major Mark Hurricane Halliburton. Hey, that was a WWE intro right there, man.
It sure was.
That was,
Yeah.
Look, all day. I was on today. Blow my phone.
Hey, you're coming in and out, Hurricane. You're coming in and out, brother. I can't hear you.
Mark,
you guys hear?
your connection is not working very well, Mark.
Can you hear?
No. It's in and out, in and out, in and out.
I'm a reset.
All right. Well,
Coming back around, he says.
hey, PCC's PCIs, right, D. Hicks?
It's that damn Texas internet.
Hey, so while Hurricane's getting charged back up, hey, we want to get into some good issues here. And the first thing I want to talk about, and I want to ask you gentlemen for your opinion. There's a lot going on in our military, and you know, a lot of change, a lot of good change is happening in our military. A lot of awareness is coming about. But, oh, we got Hurricane back. Are you there, Mark?
Can y'all hear me now?
Oh,
yeah,
there we go.
got you loud and clear, man.
Like, look, you know, we're down in the National Weather Service. I was on the phone with them all day. They complaining about some ice storm, a snowstorm. I'm the hurricane. I don't deal with ice storms. You know, all this power and people. We don't have lights, and I'm the hurricane. You know, call me between June and November the 3rd. Other than that, I'm on vacation. Hey,
yeah, but y'all related.
Thank you so
y'all
much,
are related.
Ron and John 𝗟𝗃. What an awesome way to start off the damn year. I'm so fired up. I'm shaking. I'm vibrating. I'm just full of a ball of energy. I'm ready to get this thing going. You know, I've been brewing. It's a lot of good things happening. Got some very, very great news. I can't wait to release here in about 15 days. You know, the show, the page, with the help of Oz and a list of a whole bunch of people in the back, it's just growing. It's just so many good things. You know, we have a different approach we're taking this year with the page, doing a more deliberate approach to our soldiers and our civilians and our family members of how we give them information and what's hot, and we're feeding them the information as we receive it. But the most important thing is I'm breathing, I'm smiling, I'm living, chest pumping, heart beating. I can't complain. And I hope, you know, all the people out there that are struggling with power, you know, all jokes aside, it sucks. I was out of power for 4 days, and bless every single red-blooded American that doesn't have power. And hopefully their families are safe and their kids are safe, and, you know, that they have the necessities they need. And the last thing I'll say is don't laugh at the emergency manager who tell you to prepare for emergencies, because that stuff, I was about to say the S word, that stuff saved our HASS this week. It saved it. The batteries, the packages, the candles, you name it. Bless your hearts, ladies and gentlemen that work at ACS, because you know what the hell you're doing. You know what you're doing. These families were prepared. Other than that, it's great to be here. I'm going to hit the pause button myself, because if I keep on talking, I'm going to sound like a damn broken record. I'm off mic.
Boom.
Boom.
Is it time for closing credits now?
Right. See y'all next week.
Hey, so gentlemen, we want to talk about some issues that you know, that are on the troops' mind, that's on the veterans' mind, and everything. Like I told you, there's a lot of good going on. You know, changes within the uniform and AR 670-1, more awareness. The Secretary of Defense is you know, ordered to stand down to get after, you know, leaders knowing there's troops and everything, and getting after potential, you know, bigotry or extremism, any of the events like that. But then, you know, there's people that I know you all have to deal with all the time. And I just did a video last week about how I'm sick of these wannabe badass keyboard shitheads that want to come on and they want to have an opinion about something that, you know, that they are more of a problem and everything. So I'm going to ask the TPSGL first, D Hicks. And gentlemen, the question is, how do you deal with the haters, man? Especially when you have a platform that the troops love, and I know that the jealots are coming at you out there. So, D Hicks, man, you're up.
Oh man, 6 years in the game.
I know.
I would tell you this. I use it as fuel because I have this. I'm on this momentum push now. I will not be silenced. I will not be muzzled, and I will not be intimidated. I believe that we should be able to have a platform where we're able to speak professionally within Army regulatory guidance about certain issues that we see that's going on. And when the haters come after me, and you know what shocks me the most, and I know Sergeant Major Breckenridge, Sergeant Major Halliburton, and even Oz know when I say this about senior leaders, they know what if the shoe fits, wear it.
Yeah.
But what shocks me the most is that most of my haters are senior leaders. I can't
imagine
that like for that platform to be growing as much as it is. If it's something that we put on the platform, like somebody inboxed the page about 2 Sundays ago, and one of my team members called me and said, "Hey, we got a message on the inbox. Some captain said that we violated OPSEC." It's like, what? OPSEC on what? So they sent me a snapshot. I'm on the way to church. I'm trying to get ready to go to church. So they tell me we violated OPSEC. So I hey, send me a screenshot of what it is. So we get screenshot. I look at it. It was a picture of Afghanistan. The map didn't say secret or anything like that. But lo and behold, that was just underlining the effect of what it was. So I was like, hey, you know what? Let's take the video down. But one thing they can't stop is the podcast is still there. So the mission still went forward. So even when we get those leaders that hate against the page, my first question is, first of all, why? And it kind of makes me think, is it that because I started something that you didn't start? Well, you had the same opportunity that I had. It's at your fingertips. Learn how to leverage technology and not be afraid to because where are the soldiers at? They're on social media. This is where they're at. So this is a good way to leverage technology and get on there. So I just say when the haters come, I just know for me, I use it as fuel, and it just keeps fueling me up. So I just say, haters, keep coming, come a little closer. TPSGL's not going anywhere.
Hey, it's interesting. I was up doing some work, and I was at 2nd Stryker Brigade, and they took all of their gyms in a box, and they paraded them around their parade field in a circle, and they called the workout area the arena. So you go there to 2nd Stryker Brigade 2ID, you want to see it at 6 o'clock in the morning. Those lockers are wide open. The troops are getting after it. I'm telling you, by the hundreds. And so I'm taking pictures of that, and I put it on social media, and some retired naval officer comes on and says, do you have the permission of the commander to take that video? And I was about to say, hey, asshole, the guy's standing right next to me, okay? So have a healthy cup of shut the F up, But that's the kind of stuff I'm talking about, okay? All right, I think we all know that what the rules are and everything, and when those people come at us. So, Oz, what are your thoughts, brother?
So, I like to give props where props are due. And Sergeant Major Breckinridge, Sergeant Major Halliburton, and Sergeant Major Troxell. So I met Sergeant Major Halliburton first, then I met Sergeant Major Breckinridge, and then I met Sergeant Major Troxell. I believe I've told Sergeant Major Halliburton and Sergeant Major Breckinridge, and I think I did a video about you too, Sergeant Major Troxell, but y'all have helped me deal with the haters. And I don't even know if y'all know that or not, because, I've never really cared what people thought, but just meeting y'all and seeing the way that y'all operate, it's like, look, I'm not doing what I'm doing for your approval or an immediate reward or something like that. My reward is this knowledge that I'm going to put out here for that junior soldier that doesn't have somebody to teach them the things that, we're trying to put out there right now, because you're afraid that soldier's going to pass you.
Yeah.
That's why I'm doing what I'm doing. So I don't really care what you say. And then, on top of that, I don't like to talk about appointed authority, but my power comes from within. Boom! It comes from within. Like there's, what are you gonna do? Like at the end of the day, when I walk away, I am able to accomplish the things that I'm able to accomplish because of who I am. Not my pay grade, not my position, but because of who I am.
That's awesome. It's the other part of that is like handling it. It's at that mindset, right? This is who I am, being confident who you are, what you're saying, and I had struggles with that a little bit. Before the show, was like, man, am I? A couple of naysayers is like, man, do I have what it takes to be on here with the SEAC? Do I have what it takes to get out there and be on stage? And it's like, I agree with you. Just seeing how how these leaders are handling it, it's like, man, if my man here can sit 6 months in the penalty box, and shake them, get at your ass on stage and talk. That's awesome. Yeah, Brett.
Hey, Breck, Hurricane, anything to add to this point here? Go ahead, gentlemen.
Go ahead, Mark. Go ahead.
Am I coming in broken? Am I clear, everybody?
Good to go,
You
man.
know, the Army introduced humility finally into our doctrine. And, you know, when Teresa Duncan, I'm not taking credit for this, but I like to think, you know, I was the igniting fire. But when Teresa Duncan retired, you know, I asked that the word humility be introduced formally into Army doctrine because it's so important. Because sometimes humility is what we need and what others need who are jealous, and ourselves when we become successful, to kind of keep us grounded on what's important. Not necessarily when we become successful, you know, as a leader, as a civilian, as a carpenter, or whatever the hell it is you do. Sometimes when you're good at what you do, sometimes your ego grows faster than your line of work. And humility is that grounding wire. It keeps us humble and keeps us focused on why we do what we do. Sometimes we lose focus on what we're doing it for because we get caught up on the success of what we're doing it for.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes it's refreshing to remind haters, jealots, that all that what we're doing is for other people, not necessarily ourselves.
Yeah.
And that means it comes at a sacrifice or a consequence for us helping other people. It's refreshing to know that someone is being helped by our sacrifice, and reminding other people through humility that our sacrifice is helping other people. Haters can take that and run with it. And if that helps them sleep at night, or helps them knowing that somehow that I'm struggling, but someone else is winning because I'm struggling, so be it. That's all I have.
Boom.
Oh.
Yeah, you know, it's so funny he said that, you know, talking about what we do on these platforms to help educate, you know, that all the haters are doing is just telling everybody else that what we're doing is spot on. We don't get paid for this. This is a passion that we love to help educate, teach, coach, and mentor. And I told this story to many folks before, but it's very quick. When this whole platform, and I know D Hicks has been 6 years in the game, but you know, really this kind of took off during COVID. But I tell the story that about 2 years ago, I had an opportunity to host Sergeant Major of the Army retired Preston at Fort Leonard Wood. I was able to get him down through AUSA, the Association of the United States of Army, and he was able to come down for a day and educate thousands or hundreds of soldiers. But my point is we did one big giant NCOPD in a theater, Abrams Theater, Fort Leonard Wood, Missouri. The place was packed. The NCOs were lining, every seat was taken. NCOs lined the hallway, and Sergeant Major of the Army Preston was able to get on the mic and share some great words of wisdom for us. And then we went to the pub and had a great beer. But I put into context this. We educated about 500 great NCOs, which we have probably maybe 800 on Leonard Wood. So we didn't get everybody, but we got 500. One of our podcasts, one of our educational, whether it's HRC or promotions or leadership or anything, either on NCOPD Live or Freestyle or Break Time or Oz, it doesn't matter. It's all of them, or even the Ron and John Show. We're educating and teaching thousands. Within the first hour, we get 8,000 hits on the video. You can't tell me that is not powerful. And that is what we bring to the show. So to all the haters, hey, keep hating. Hate all you want, man. It doesn't matter to us. It's not going to stop what we do. We're passionate about this. We love what we do. We love people. We love interacting with people. And this is what we do. So keep hating, because that fuels us to be even better. Be even better for all those folks out there. So that's it for me. Thanks.
Boom.
Boom.
Boom. Hey, great stuff. I will tell you, you know, I don't care how high we get up or whatever. I mean, I don't care if you're, you know, like me, a former SEAC, you know, this stuff, it will piss you off, you know, and you have to deal with it in a certain way. And it always helps. Like, I got a call today from one of my key mentors that I had during my career, and especially with when I was in Afghanistan, and that's Tom Capel. And Tom called me up. he called me up when I was doing PT. So when a former 82nd Airborne Division CSM calls you up, it makes you run faster, you know. So, but you know, he kind of said what all of you gentlemen just said. He said, "Let the haters hate. Keep doing it. We're making an impact out here." So,
hey, real quick,
good on you.
Yeah. Let me tell somebody. I don't know which one of these great NCOs I told to, and it might have been D. Hicks, but it could have been Oz or Mark. But I might have told them all. I told them this: don't worry about what other people tell you. Keep doing what you're doing. You're making a difference. Don't worry about the haters. Don't just keep doing what you're doing. Stay within the lines of what the Army directs us to be. Got it, right? There are limits of rules and all that stuff. I got it. But just keep being you. Keep being you. Right, guys? That's what I told y'all, right?
Hey, you know, and the haters are the ones that when you're doing a long walk, you know, and we all do long walks for 12 miles, they're going to watch every step. And the minute you jaywalk, they're going to call you out on it. But they ain't out there doing that 12 miles with you, okay? Mm-hmm. But they are going to call you out if you step outside those white lines when you cross the street, man. So, Ron, go ahead.
Easy to criticize.
No, that's it. You know, got to be you because everybody else is taken, right? You know, just keeping it simple, you know. And but with that is watching. You know, it's one thing to get out and do some videos and track the likes and stuff, but it's also when we see the comments, right? It's also when we see the lives that we change from our interaction and what it is that we're doing. And you know, even when I kind of pulled back a little bit from social media, kind of getting in my own head at times, because it happens. And, you know, I get comments of, hey, you know what? I appreciate what you post out there. You know, it motivates me to do this or do that and the third. And that's what we have to remember as well, is that regardless of them haters, there's so many more people that are watching, and not everyone has to hit that like button. Not everyone is going to interact with that. But that, you know, that time when you do something that touches them, they're going to let you know, hey, you know what? I support what you're doing. I see what's going on, and you've helped me. So, you know, that, and I'm sure that's what fuels every single one of you on here, because that's why you're here.
So, you know, one thing I'm gonna say this, and I know I've shared this with at least Oz. One thing I look at is when I get a hater, and it's a senior leader, and I'll share this on camera. I got your attention. I got your attention.
I got you.
I mean, I don't mean this. I don't want to sound conceited, but if you took the opportunity to comment on my wall or come in the inbox or email the page or anything like that, I got your attention. It was accomplished. It hit a nerve, so I got your attention. Now I know you're watching, so I'm good with that. I'm
struck that chord.
Yeah.
Hey, so, you know, I got to give props to my battle buddy, Ron, here. So we were in Hurlburt Field about a month ago, and we were talking to a bunch of airmen down there. And, you know, I kind of start off and talk leadership and everything. Ron gets up and talks leadership too. And then he kind of gets into transition and veterans affairs and everything. And he talked about, you know, he went away from social media and everything. And so this was the first time we had done it in a couple months, and he got up there, and that dude started just talking, and the people, I mean, COVID rules, we had about 200 airmen on the edge of their seat listening to Ron, and I'm over here sitting in my chair, man. He's almost got me in tears, but then I had to finally pull out a comment, you know, that one of our viewers would say, and I said, damn, this MFer is spitting, man. He is nailing it, man. I was just so proud of him because he talked about, you know, how he had kind of gone away from social media and everything. But when he came back like a dang steamroller. And we did 3 seminars down there, and every one of them, brother, I was so proud of how you hit that. And hey, after it's all said and done and the troops come around, you might have 1 or 2 airmen around me. There's a posse around Ron O'Farrell wanting to get some more information. So props to you, brother.
Thanks, brother. I appreciate that. Yeah.
Hey, so now I got to talk another issue that is is a perception in the military now, and it's hypersensitivity. Because of everything that anytime the military tries to structure change, there's going to be those haters. There's going to be those people that are legacy thinkers and everything. And it can create a perception of a hypersensitive environment where, one, NCOs could be risk averse and they don't want to get after the basics that they're supposed to be about, which is standards and discipline, providing inspiration and stuff like that. But also, we talked about this before, 𝗕𝗃𝗁 especially, the difference between having champions and victims in an organization. So you guys are out, you're leading every day. 𝗕𝗃𝗁, you told us about some adventures you're having down there where you're at now in terms of, getting people in uniform and everything. But is there hypersensitivity in the force, or is that just a perception, or is that just being overblown? And I'm going to start in reverse this time, and Hurricane, will go to you first.
Sometimes when we're exposed to something foreign or something unknown, it's very sensitive.
Yeah.
But when we become used to the normal, we become used to the normal.
Yeah.
And sometimes we have to understand that what is new, what is old to someone else may be new to us, and vice versa. But we have to take, sometimes we put a label on everything. Sometimes there's a label for this and a label for this. And sometimes sitting down having a conversation with someone that you don't know where they're from, to gain understanding can lend you to a certain degree of understanding. But when we label or create labels to identify problem sets, that's the scientific in a lab room trying to define what's happening instead of a person to person interpersonal communication. To me, that's ultimately important. People talking to people, understanding people. Once we get away from that, that's where the labels come from.
Yeah.
That's when the lab coats come out with these labels, and we write, well, based on our hypothesis, X plus Z, this is what this is, and this is how you deal with this. That's BS.
Yeah.
When people talk to people and understand people, we may not always disagree. Look, I do not always agree with everybody, and it could be, and we can have a different perspective. But I've always taught, my pops and my mom's always taught me about the M and the W. Sometimes you looking at it as a W to you and it's an M to them, but it's based on your perspective. Doesn't mean you're wrong. It's just the way you're looking at it. And sometimes we can't get mad because you are 100% right and be called sensitive because you disagree with someone who's also 100% right.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, you have to change roles to understand someone's perspective. I think that someone in a lab room needs to change a word and identify perspective. Because I believe if people focus on perspective to truly understand what someone sees, ignorance will go away, hypersensitivity will go away, and perspective will be this ultra-wide lens where you can see what someone else can see. That's my 2 cents.
There it is. Yeah, and I think that's fantastic, and I think that most would agree with that. But I'll just roll this on the same topic and roll with to you, Breck. Is how do we foster that? How is that created so that those conversations are, number one, had, number two, promoted and accepted within the ranks?
Yeah, no, that's a great question, Ron. And I will tell you, as we were talking about this, kind of jotted some notes down and from my college class, there's 5 steps to critical thinking, right? Because this all boils down to critical thinking. When we were going through the block of instruction in class, I could relate what we were talking to everything that's going on in this world, right? Left versus right, right versus left. Whatever it may be, not just politics, but I'm talking about everything. And there's 5 steps, and I'm not going to go into each step. But step number 5 is probably the most important thing that everybody can remember or learn and take heed. So those watching, take a pen and paper out, write this down. Explore other people's points of view. So I'm not saying you have to believe what they say, right? It's not what it's saying. It's just explore their side of the story to understand where they're coming from. And if you can do that, right, then we'll all be better for this, right? And so, well, I'm not going to get into politics, but at the end of the day is just do what I just told you. Explore other people's points of view and look at it through a different lens. And you'll be quite surprised that maybe sometimes you'll say, okay, well, it's not that bad. But then understand this. Everybody has their own opinion, right? And it's okay. That's what we're at. But you all have seen this in this day and age now. If I was to have a disagreement with someone most of the time, next thing you know, they're unfriending me, they're toilet papering my house, they're keying my car for a different opinion just because I like tacos and you don't? Really? That's what we're at?
Well,
street tacos are the best. Don't even argue with that.
exactly.
But Breck, that's a great point, and I mentioned earlier, maybe when we were in the green room, I don't know how, and I'll throw this to you. I don't know how you can be an effective leader if you criticize someone for having a difference of opinion than you. I think as a leader, you have to build synergy by taking people of different backgrounds, different opinions, different ways of life, and bringing them together to be an effective organization. Oz, what are your thoughts, man?
I think you rolled that in perfectly because it connects directly to what we were just talking about with the hypersensitivity. Because, so I wrote something down here. Understanding the urge to resist change is the difference between success and failure. And what I mean by that is it's normal to not want to change because you're in your comfort zone, you're comfortable. And in order to grow, we got to get outside that comfort zone. So if I were to stretch myself to understand where somebody else is coming from, proverbially stand on that edge of that coin because it's three sides, the right, the left, and the edge, and I got to stand on the edge to be able to see both sides, that takes mental agility.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
And if I don't have that mental agility to be able to look at both sides of that coin, and I'm not willing to leave my comfort zone so that I can get out there and stretch, then how could I sit here and have a productive conversation with you and listen at you? Basically, you're not saying that I'm wrong. You're just saying that you disagree. But that's what their brains are stuck on, is that somebody's telling me I'm wrong and I don't have to deal with that.
That's a great point. As a leader ever since I was a young leader, I tried to develop synergy in my organization because, I didn't want to be the guy to come up with a good idea plan and the whole team thinks it sucks. And all of a sudden, when we're moving on the enemy on the objective, and I look behind me on the objective and nobody's with me, it's just me, that tells me I had a piss poor idea. So trying to get buy-in from everybody and everybody coming together to build synergy. Now, don't get me wrong, the leader has to make hard decisions at times, but a plan is going to be executed a lot better if there's buy-in from the team. Ron, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, it's, I think the flow is good because it falls into, D. Hicks next is because, we're talking about, exploring the other person's, position, talking about having that mental agility to be able to do so. But where does it start, right? Where do we start instilling those seeds? D, what are you thinking?
I think it's well, no, I'm not what I think. In my professional opinion, I think it starts with you. It starts with that individual. Mm-hmm. And Sergeant Major Hurricane said it best. At the end of the day, you don't have to agree with the way they see it. Just be willing to see it how they see it. And just because you've been doing something for so long a certain way doesn't make it the right way or the only way. No, that's just the way you've been doing it. But if I can bring another way to do it and the mission still gets accomplished, then we've accomplished the task. And at the end of the day, I look at every last one of you gentlemen on here, and I'm gonna make this point. I met every last one of you all through somebody else. The first person I met was of course, was the SEAC, while he was the actual senior listed advisor to the chairman. I met him. Then I met good old Hurricane Halliburton down there. Then I met Breck Time on his Battle Buddy check-in. And then I met Oz. And then I met you, Mr. Ron. We've all come from different walks of life. But here we're all on the same screen talking about one particular topic, and all of us are saying different things, but it's all making sense. And it comes with that individual that has to be able to sit back and say, okay, well, let me see how Hurricane is going to bring this. You know, I'll be like, you know what, that's a good idea. And even if the way he did it doesn't fit my leadership style, there's something I can take away from how he did it, or what I wouldn't have done and did it another way. I can still learn, but I have to have that. Some people gonna know what I'm talking. I gotta have that third eye to be able to at least see where he's coming from, to even try to get to the point where I can say, I can take a little bit of this and fit it to me and make it work. But I think it starts with the individual.
Yeah, your point was analogous to the point Oz was making there, and a great point. So I want to ask you guys about this. We've talked about change here. You know, tomorrow I'm getting on a plane and going to Hawaii, of all places, and I'm going to be with the 25th. No, I ain't going to surf or anything like that. Surfing and skiing at 56 years old, learning that stuff. That's how you end up in traction, brother. So, but you know, so on social media, I put on that I'm going to Hawaii, and then of course one of these jackasses comes on to Twitter and says, make sure that you have your ponytail and your nails polished when you get out there. And I thought, you know, I'll just say it, you know, what an asshole, you know. So how do we get over this legacy thinking and we get people to embrace change? I mean, when I look at the changes of AR 670-1, it was done by an eclectic panel that was very diverse to come up with these recommendations to go to the Army leadership for change. And every time we went forward in the Army, even if I didn't agree with it, you know, back in the day, I certainly wasn't, one, I wasn't powerful enough to say this is going to stop, you know, and I accepted it and drove on. So your guys' thoughts on this, Ron, and I'll let you take the lead on it, man, for who you want to pick out.
Yeah, no, let's just mix it up a little bit here and go straight to Oz.
So I'm going to make a very unpopular opinion. All right. And don't really care what people think about it. So I'm going somewhere with this. Just follow me. Now, we had a whole lot of individuals get upset because they want beards and all of this stuff, right?
Oh,
They got upset because females got all of this changes. My battalion sergeant major is a female. Her name is Tanya Sims. She is the first female sergeant major in a BSB that was instituted in 1917. And it is 2021. But yet, I got my male counterparts out here upset because of all the changes that was made for females. But yet, we are in 2021, and there are still organizations in our organization that has not had female leadership. But we're upset because we couldn't get beards. And
hey, what's up with the beards? Why is it? I mean, me and Ron's got a nice one, you know. I mean, dang, when you have African American and Hispanic blood in you, you can grow a nice beard.
You get that good hair.
Me, you know, I mean, my stuff, 57 years old, it's rough. But what's this, you know, this obsession with beards in the force, man?
I don't know. And look, I'm not saying that they don't need it. I'm just saying that goes towards the whole hypersensitivity. It goes towards the what have you done for me lately attitude instead of the team that we're trying to build.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I think.
Can I add in on that?
Go ahead.
The beard. So, you know, our Army, you know, reflects our society. And as fads and trends and things that are popular happen within our society, it mirrors right there in the Army. You know, as trends happen in society with the beards and the parts in the hair, it comes in. And we'd be foolish to believe that there's a wall that whatever happens in our, that's where our soldiers come from. They come from the dirts of Oklahoma and Arkansas, or Poplar Bluff, Missouri, Florida. Pick your favorite state. This is where they come from. And so they bring their trends and their fads and their ideologies of what life is good and what they should look like with them. Our job is to educate what we have in the Army, not necessarily declare that this is foolish or this is stupid, but to educate what we allow. These are trends that if they wasn't in a uniform, they would wear. We just have to educate our soldiers and not attack the fad, but educate our soldiers. That's what we have to do. What's problematic is we get frustrated because of some of our leaders, not all, is the inability to educate. That's the true root problem. It's not the fad, it's not the trends, it's the inability to educate the problem that's happening. So we look at the tree, we see the fruit, and we diagnose that the bad apple is because the branch is wrong, when the problem is beneath the surface, and diagnosing that it's a bad tree. And so we struggle as an Army, as non-commissioned officers specifically, to say, you know what, how can we better educate our leaders to identify and educate the soldiers that, hey, I understand that this is what you are accustomed to, but this is where we are now. If you want to change it, there's ways to change it, and not necessarily, oh, that's stupid. Who does that? Why are you doing that? That's just basically, you know, when I got married, in the South, we jump over a broom after you get married. It's custom. It's a 4-year, 100-year-old tradition. And if I was to bring it in, like, why the hell do you jump over a broom after you get married? Well, what does that mean? That's foolish. It's ignorance. It's not that they don't know. They just don't know. And I'm not going to get rid of a 400-year-old tradition because you don't like it. I'll just explain and educate you on why we do it. And I think that's what we, as leaders, need to pull up our bootstraps and say, how can I focus my energy to teach my sergeants and soldiers how to educate their soldiers on what's happening, so it's easier to understand why this issues that we're having. That's my 2 cents. I'm sorry for long-windedness.
No. I was gonna say, because you put something out there when you hit the beards, and here where it goes back to hypersensitivity. First and foremost, let's be honest. The Army's not gonna go to full beards like what Ron got. Let's
Come on, man. It's the gas mask thing, right?
Religious accommodations. Let's have a discussion. Religious accommodations, we got it.
Yeah.
But you got some people under there that's not even thinking about, oh, I just want to walk around with a full beard. Here's what my thing was with I'll be the one. Senior leaders, SMA, have the discussion. Don't just say, no, you're not doing it. I mean, like, I'd say have the discussion. Get those people in there, like we did this panel, the dermatologists and the doctors, and because like people that got a shaving profile to have a beard on and it's choppy in certain places and you can't even line it up to edge it up to make it look decent. I'm like, have the conversation to hear what those individuals are trying to say, and then take what they've said and based on what the health professionals have got to say about it. But to shoot the conversation down, I think that's what I watched that entire segment. And of course, we already knew beards was going to get brought up by some guy. Some guy was going to bring up beard. And I think where when he said, no, you're not doing it. Yeah. Over half of the viewership dropped off. It was a significant drop off of viewership. Yeah. We got to go back to, okay, let's have the discussion. Let's talk green Oz. Let's talk about it and hear out what individuals have to say. And at the end of the day, it goes back to that perspective, that retrospect. Okay, I'm gonna hear what you got to say, but don't say I'm gonna hear what you got to say and you already went in with a closed mind. Literally go in and hear what they have to say. I'll leave you this now. I'll pass it to, I think Sergeant has something to say. My son, my oldest one, I tell all my kids, hey, when you come to pop, you better have a plan, and your plan better be airtight. Because guess what? My job as a father, especially when it involves my money, I'm gonna poke holes in your story to make sure I'm making a sound investment. So now when my son comes to me, or any one of my children come to me, I openly hear what they have to say. And not prejudge off and say, well, you know what, I'm gonna hear what you got to say, but I already know in the back of my mind I'm not gonna do it. Because then if I go with a closed mind, I'm not listening or hearing anything you have to say. So I say, have the discussion, hear what individuals have to say, and then base it off of what the fact findings is, and go from there. That's my opinion.
Yeah. There you go, Brett.
All right, so let me throw out a few things. I'll be very quick. So bottom line, this change of AR 670-1, and I know the most people say it was all centered around our females and changes to them. Well, you know what? Damn right. For hundreds of years, the regulations have been so focused on the male soldiers. You know what? Has any male soldier had to deal with a bun? Have they ever had to tie a bun? Have they ever had to tie a bun in the morning before PT and strangle their hair and pull it back so tight so they can have a bun and be within regulation, and then have to put an ACH on and go into the field for 3 days? No, they haven't had to, because they're a male. They don't understand the challenges that our female soldiers have. Yes. So you know what? Gosh dang right to ponytails. And you know what they do? I'm not gonna say they've earned it. It's about time we look at other things that are not so focused on the male soldiers, because so many people are resistant to change. All those haters out there talking about ponytails and nail polish. You know what? Who cares if our female soldiers have a nail polish that is neutral to their color in uniform? Who cares that they wear a studded diamond earring or whatever in the OCP uniform in garrison? Who cares? Really? Are we so worried about the performance of that female soldier in the office or doing whatever they're worried about because of a stupid earring? Come on, man. Get over yourself. Resistant to change. That's all they are. They don't want to be a part of our group. And I want every single one of you. And you know what? You can hate me all you want. But I'm going to tell you what. This generation of female soldiers want to stand out in front and be leaders. We need to allow them to do that. And all out there that want beards, half of you can't even grow a beard, so get over it.
Oh, man.
You guys are packing 210 pounds out here tonight, man. Hey, I will tell you this, just to amplify every one of you dynamic leaders' points. When the worst day of my career was the 19th of July, 2007, when my patrol was attacked with an explosive form penetrator. One of our soldiers was killed, another one severely wounded, others slightly wounded. And I heard on the radio the QRF saying, we're coming to get you guys. I didn't care if they had a bun. I didn't care if they had an earring. I didn't care if they were a transgender. I didn't care what they were, if they were a female or male. I just knew there was an American voice on the other end, and they were coming to save my ass and the patrol's ass. And the bottom line is that's what it's all about in the military profession.
That's right.
Boom!
Boom!
Doesn't matter.
Hey, you know, I
Man.
want to follow Sergeant Breckenridge ever again. Ever, because oh my goodness, holy wow!
I'm sorry.
And because you know I hate to be around passionate people, because then I get passionate. It's infectious. It is, because you believe it, and people know you believe it, and it's not some damn script. That's awesome. You know what? I will tell you a quick story, 30 seconds. I was a soldier, PFC Halliburton, Heidelberg, Germany. A part of the best military police battalion in the United States Army, 95th Military Police Battalion, Superstars. And it was a Command Sergeant Major, Jackson. He was a 5th Corps Command Sergeant Major. And I was in the shop at with big old diamond-studded earrings on before it was allowed. And I'm talking about I was blinging. and I was smiling. When I smiled, my two wisdom teeth hit my earrings. That's how big they was, right? And so I'm walking through the line in civilian clothes. I'm completely know I'm wrong, and I know that was a 5th Corps Sergeant Major. So I go there because I was buying something, and lady say, "Well, it was coffee." Well, I'll say it was coffee. And she's like, "Well, I need your rations cards, sir." I was like, "Well, I need your ID card." I was like, "Well, I don't have it. Could I just give you my rations card?" She's like, "No, I need your ID card." I was like, "Man, if I show my ID card, this 5th Corps Sergeant Major is gonna skull drag me because I'm wrong as hell." But I'm like, "It's just earrings." But I was like, whatever. So find out I'm PFC Halliburton. So he follows me back to Patton Barracks there in Heidelberg, Germany, and walks me into my first sergeant office. And of course, you know, I got the hammer. But when I became a non-commissioned officer, you know, I found out the soldiers who were wearing earrings, and I became that heat-seeking missile looking for soldier with earrings. But I never backed up and it's like, wait a minute, I used to do that. Why did I used to do that? Why was I doing that? And try to understand that, you know, I was that soldier wearing earrings in the ear and understand it's like, wait a minute, yes, it's wrong. Ultimately, the Army changed it, you know, but it took, sometimes we get to positions of authority and we have to make decisions, but sometimes we don't look at them, I was like, wait a minute, you know, somebody who outranks me, could we look at this policy? Because I think it needs to be looked at because it doesn't necessarily make sense. And I became the person, I became on the assembly line and almost robotic and not really saying, wait a minute, not necessarily challenging the policy, but just say, this doesn't make sense. Can we look at it? I think that's where some of the soldiers who made those simple mistakes as junior soldiers, they grow up to be great leaders and forget where the hell they came from. That they made those same decisions and the mistakes as junior soldiers. I was that guy. I was busted by a nominative 3-star command sergeant major in the shop there for being wrong as hell and stupid. And then I grew up and enforced a standard that I willingly violated when I was a junior soldier. But I all of a sudden forget that I did that. That's
Right.
The problem is we got to fix in the Army.
That's right, Mark. And what do I always preach? Right? We all do. But what is the number one thing that I always talk about? Never forget where you came from. Because when you never forget that you were a basic training soldier sleeping in a pup tent with another guy about the same size as you, trying to roll over to make room, when you never forget that you grew up in those trenches, you'll understand that you made the same mistakes, you had the same things going on in your life, and you know what? Have some humility in your life, seriously.
Yes.
Hey, so I always say that we're going to go through change constantly in the military. But one thing will never change, and this gets after Hurricane's point, is that Joe will be Joe. And Joe is going to do what Joe does. And the thing to remember is what all you gentlemen have said. Don't forget that you were one-time Joe, okay? And if you remember that, there'll be more empathy as you move forward. So, Ron, I think, you know, with these 4 gentlemen, our rapid fire, I think we need to hear what they're going to do with their platforms for this year and beyond. And I'll let you take it over, and let's hear what we're going to hear from NCOPD Live, from Breck Live. Let's talk about a freestyle every day for everybody. Hit it, brother.
That's right. Yeah, you know, want to see here. Obviously, you're here with us and seeing our kickoff here. We'd love to see and hear and share what you got going on. So we'll just go right straight to you, Brett.
All right. Well, thanks so much. So I'll be honest with you, as most know me, Break Time Broadcast has not been very active in the past 6 months due to the transition from Leonard Wood to here and stuff. But what I have been doing is really collaborating with Freestyle Every Day for Everyone, and of course the NCOPD Live. But I do plan to get Break Time Broadcast going back up again and seeking some of the other topics that I'm very passionate about. And that is like nonprofit organizations that help our soldiers, help our family members, or even help our canine friends, right? Our fur babies and stuff like that. So It's always been a passion of mine. And I'm not going to divulge any secrets, but you know, before I stopped doing it for the transition to Belvoir, I was really going to bring on this mission program that really helps rescuing military working dogs and reuniting them with their handlers. So I want to get that back up and running and get that going again. But for now, in the next near future, I just enjoy my collaboration with these three fine NCOs that are on the net, and anybody else that I can help inspire and motivate to be better. So that's what Break Time Broadcast is up to. So thank you very much.
Yeah, awesome. And if you need some help, some resources as far as some organizations on the canine side, definitely have a few we can hook you up with and start that networking now for you.
Yeah, well,
man.
I definitely reach out and ask for a helping hand for sure. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
TPSGL, what's going on, man? What can we look forward in 2021?
Well, so our focus have shifted a little bit. One of the things that we've already done is that we've incorporated 2 other shows under our brand, and actually one of those individuals are on the show now. So to bring Let's Talk About It and Oz up under the brand, and I was actually talking to him this morning. I was like, man, look, guy, you are killing it. Like you are killing it, but so it's giving opportunities. That's what we want to do. We want to give opportunities. So a couple of things we got coming through the pipeline is we've added Coach K and Thrive Legion, her platform up under the brand. Of course, she's getting ready to have a baby, so that's why she hasn't done her first video on the platform yet. A couple other things we got coming through the pipe is we're getting ready. We're getting ready to put a panel of recruiters together. We want to hear from that community. What is it like to be a recruiter? How do you deal with resiliency when you got that recruit and then all of a sudden they change their mind? How do you bounce back?
That's a good point. Yeah.
How do you deal with the demographic area that you may not be from?
Yeah.
How does that change your leadership style and your ability to go out there and communicate with the community? And let's say you're from 3rd Ward in Houston, Texas, and you have to go to Des Moines, Iowa somewhere. How do you deal with that demographical shift? So just to get some idea from that perspective, and I know my drill sergeant counterparts are looking, trust me, I've not forgotten about you. And to my SGL counterparts, I haven't forgot about you either, but I definitely want to hit this community first. And then another thing, we get ready to launch finally, but I had to get the right people around me. And man, Ron, we talked about this last night. When I got my hands in it, I mess it up.
Same, brother.
So, but we got a marketing designer and director to take over the marketing, get out there. We've got a deal with a t-shirt company, getting things together. We put a poll on the page to see what the individuals want, what they want to, what type of NCOPD Live gear that they would want to purchase. And I'm super, super excited about that. That's getting ready to kick off as well. And we're going to keep bringing other senior leaders and soldier panels. And one thing I haven't done that I'm looking into, I mentioned her name last night. I think she's watching, Auntie Sandra. Yeah.
She's on.
Yeah. I want to do something about military spouses.
Oh, yeah.
A show with military spouses. So I want to get a group of military spouses on there and talk about how they deal with, life as a military spouse. So that's the direction that we're going as far as giving others opportunities. That's where we're going this year.
Oh, that's great, man. I definitely look forward to the side on the recruiting. That one hits home to me because been there, done that. And that's the stories are fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Oz, what do you got? What's happening?
So I'm taking lead from Sergeant Major Halliburton because he's the great networker. So I want to be the great bridge builder.
There you go.
What I'm doing right now is I'm reaching out to different CMFs and seeing what I can do to help them get like a social media platform up and going. And, I'm offering my services to them free of charge so that they can get their pages and stuff up so that when we do stuff on NCOPD Live or Break Time Broadcast or Freestyle for Everybody, we could stream that information out there because all of us got the same goal. We all want to get the information out to the force. And the same thing with the Ron and John show. So once we reach out to each one of these CMFs, we can push this stuff directly to whatever page they have. But what I'm doing this year for Let's Talk About It is same thing I did last year. I'm pushing influence, but I'm gonna be very laser-like with my messaging. And right now we're getting ready to do level 2 of the 5 levels of leadership by John C. Maxwell. I just find it very fitting to bring John C. Maxwell's information to the force, because it's in line with what the Army's doing right now with leading with influence. Appointments are very important, but we also need to understand how influence works. So with that being said, I'm gonna keep doing my thing with NCOPD Live, TPSGL. Thank you for hooking it up. And he left something for me to talk about. So we just started a new show. And this new show is called Saturday Morning Sizzler. So on Saturday Morning Sizzler, we basically talk about everything. Like, we talk about controversial topics, and the basis of the show is to show people, look, it's okay. The same thing we talked about here. It's okay for people to come together and have a conversation and not agree. So we got 4 people on the show, TPSGL, Coach K, and Kawana Phillips, and myself, and we have some heated conversations. And it's the first Saturday of every month at 12 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, and we have those conversations. So we got a lot going on, but that's
we don't always agree either. But
like a Army-esque breakfast club a little bit.
No,
I feel you. I'm catching that. Yeah.
So I need to be like T.O. and get my popcorn ready then, huh?
You about to get your invite. We're gonna need you to come on there
that's gonna be good. And we had to wrap it up with not a tropical storm, with the hurricane. What is happening? I know we got a swath of motivation coming, so we're just gonna sit back.
So oh man. First of all, again, thank you guys for having us on here. D, shout out to you again for doing what you're doing, just being who you are, remaining who you are, reaching out. Thanks for checking on me when you did, and I just wanted to know that. So what we got coming up is this. We had a meeting the last week of December, first week in January, about the future of our page. How do we want to, if we don't learn from AARs, then why the hell you do an AAR, right? If you don't learn from it, why do it?
Yeah.
It's a waste of freaking time.
Mm-hmm.
So we got together the great minds of our page, and we broke down the calendar year into a 3-phase approach. And if you notice that the first 3 to 4 months of our shows has everything to do with one thing: assignment, promotions, and everything G1, right? Everything G1. That's intentional. That's by design. And so that's those 3 most important things are schools, promotions, and assignments for a soldier. If you pay attention to that's what soldiers want to know, because it affects everything. It affects their family, it affects their pay, it affects their life, it affects everything. And you attack that first. So once the needle was in the vein there, the next thing is logistics. So the next phase approach will be all things logistics. And so, back in the old brigade combat team, we called it the A-lock, where the admin and the logistics were co-located in the A-lock.
Yeah.
And they fed off of each other. And so now, when we shift gears, we're going to go to logistics. So you're going to start to see a lot of logisticians come on our page and offer how the Army is transitioning, what we look, how our new DFACs look, how we feed our soldiers, how our soldiers are getting the equipment they need. That is all by design, because that's what soldiers need to hear. And then, of course, after we go through logistics, then it's going to be about the warfighter. Then you're going to start to see guest speakers and people and leaders who are dialed in where the warfighter is. These combat service support maneuvers and fires effects guys that come on this panel, and then they'll talk all things Army. And so to me, you take the holistic strategic approach of giving the soldiers information by flattening communications and a tiered approach. By doing that, you're not just throwing stuff at soldiers and make it stick. You're giving them an expectation. Oh, everything S1 is this month. So if I know everything administration, then I know I need to pay attention. By having that approach, we're starting to see rapid growth, rapid participation, because the information is coming at a drip that is as feasible for and suitable for the palate for the soldier. On the 19th of March, we have the anniversary show. I'm sorry, it's a lot of stuff coming out. I'm sorry, if you give me 30 seconds, I'll throw this out. 19th of March, we got the anniversary show. We will turn 1 year old. And of course, Ron and John, 𝗟𝗲𝗁, you're gonna get an invite. D, you're gonna, because you like the great uncle of the page, since you were first. So you gotta send an invite to the great uncle. Man, stop playing, man.
The great uncle? But why you gotta say great uncle?
Yeah, I'm the cousin that gets coming to barbecue. That's me. I know my role.
Come on, we're gonna do the show. 𝗏𝗏𝗁 is doing that. He's running with it. 𝗏𝗏𝗁 is ahead of that. Have you noticed that we're looking at the 𝗙𝗿𝗄𝗃 and making sure that we follow the 𝗙𝗿𝗄𝗃 as a sort of reference, not there for our observances, the monthly observances, to make sure that we educate our population on, Martin Luther King, African American women's history, Native American, Hispanic heritage, all things that our Army and our Department of Defense represents. We want to pull that in and educate and give them information to our soldiers. And so we agreed upon that. So every month, whatever represents the 𝗙𝗿𝗄𝗃, we're going to have a show for and information for the soldiers. And then lastly but not least, D, I'll probably get with you offline. I know Command Sergeant Major Breckenridge and I talked about this. April's a month of military child. We don't give our family members and dependents enough attention. I think that will be a great show. I think that will be huge. I'm willing to say it's going to be huge. And that is something that will basically be in line with kind of the direction and where we want to go. And I think that's something I will get with you offline about. Bottom line, I wouldn't be here if I wasn't surrounded by such awesome people helping plan all this stuff we got coming up this year. But hey, shout out to everybody. I appreciate you. Thank you.
Awesome. We appreciate you. Yeah. Go ahead, brother. Take it away.
Well, hey, gentlemen, unfortunately, we're out of time. If we had a keg of beer, a virtual keg of beer, I think we could do this all night here, But or some Cabernet or Merlot for Ranger O'Farrell there. But I just want to say thank you all for not only taking time out of your schedule to be on here tonight, but everything you do every day to make a difference. I think every one of you as a leader is making a difference. Otherwise we wouldn't have you on here, one. But two, when a guy like me that spent 38 years in the military and reached the pinnacle of the enlisted ranks, and I can look at you gentlemen, and I can look and just say, man, those guys got it, and D. Hicks, this, I told you this a few years ago, call it talent, call it charisma, whatever, but all of you got it. So God bless you all. And as a token of our appreciation for you being on the show tonight, you see these fancy T-shirts that Ron and John and I have on here called the Ron and John Show. On the back, it's got our slogan, we're known coast to coast like butter and toast. I need you guys to message me your address and size, and we're going to get you a T-shirt as a token of our appreciation for being on the Ron and John Show. Thank you all, gentlemen.
I'm a schmedium.
Same. It's a popular size. Trust me.
Hey, Breck, I don't want you smuggling fruit roll-ups in a schmedium now, all right? So we're going to have to get you a freaking large or something, brother, all right?
Hey, Sag, I know we got to end this show, and I know Victoria's in the back scene, but can I take 30 seconds? Because Mark said 30 seconds. He took like 30 minutes. Can I really get just 30 seconds?
All right, Senator, you have 30 seconds.
All right, first off, Ron, John, Victoria, everybody in the scenes, thank you so much for hosting us tonight. I want to put a plug out to SMA Daily, AUSA, noon reports happen every month. Great way to share information about things that are strategically happening at the senior levels of our Army. Get after that. Quick plug, just so happens to be, this is Veterans Lending Group, but I just signed up for the Veterans Lending Group virtual VA Home Loan Boot Camp on
Yes.
January. And I don't know about that. And my transition is in the next 2 to 3 years. So I need to learn how to do that. So for all you out there that want to learn how to do that, make sure you tune into that. And lastly, this, for those of you out there that are struggling, that are almost at the decision of making the ultimate choice of taking your life, please remember, there are so many people out there that care about you because every one of you matter. And my job as the CID Sergeant Major, unfortunately, I have to read all the law enforcement reports every day. And that 22 suicides a day, I'm not saying that's a true number, but I'm just tired of reading about them. I really am. And so one of the things that we do as a collective group with most of us on here is we do a virtual Battle Buddy check-in every Sunday. But just everybody that's watching, check in with someone. Just call someone you haven't talked to in a long time that might be struggling, that needs your help. We've got to stop this epidemic of people taking their lives because they're running into issues. We got to stop. We're too important. So please, if you're watching and you are struggling, please reach out, call somebody, Facebook message somebody. We will help you. We will listen. Please, it's not worth it. There's so many people that care about you. Thank you for the 30 seconds. Appreciate it.
All right, gents, God bless you all. Stay safe. Keep pounding. And I love saying this now that I'm a retiree. Thank you, four gentlemen, for defending mine and Ron's freedom, our families, and that of 300 million other Americans out there. God bless you all, and thanks for being here.
See you all next week. Have a great one.
Boom!
Boom!
The Ron and John Show is brought to you by Veterans Lending Group, where we can assist you with all your home buying and refinance needs. Since we're licensed in all 50 states, we can ETS, PCS, or retire wherever you go. Check out our education classes at VAHomeloanBootcamp.com for our free classes, and you can also visit our website at veteranslendinggroup.com. Make sure to follow The Ron and John Show on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube.
Hey, folks, we hope you enjoyed our guest this week.
Thanks for tuning into The Ron and John Show, and we'll see